Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. You gotta love a seeing designer dips haul, and this one is a doozy. I've got 20 dips here, which includes a new collection, a new trio, part of another collection, and then just a few randoms thrown in. So I'm actually going to go through and swatch all 20 of these dips for you, and then I will create a really fun plaid argyle inspired color block mani using the new Nature Walk collection. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around. We're getting into it. So like I said in my recent haul video, this is actually me reining it in, believe it or not. Instead of buying multiple collections, I just have one collection here and a trio, and then parts of other collections, and then just some randoms that I had been wanting to pick up. So this is actually me doing pretty good. But if you did not catch my recent haul video with a whole bunch of goodies in there, I will have that video linked for you in the cards. But I did talk about kind of slowing down the new releases here just because I want to go through and really enjoy some of the things that I purchased recently and just try some new things and just have a little bit of fun. So I hope you guys are cool with that. But we do love us some new dips, especially from Seeing Designer Dips. So we definitely want to go through and take a look at these new collections because I think she's got some stunners in here that you are going to love for fall. Just real quick, I know I still sound a little bit nasally. I'm still getting over this dreaded vid, but I have to say I can't really complain. It wasn't too bad. It was mostly just like the headaches and the fatigue that really got to me. But as far as like the cold symptoms, they weren't too bad. So I'm feeling pretty, grateful for that it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'm ready to put this behind me and just move on to healthier days. So anyway, on to more fun things. Let us get into those swatches. So the way I did the swatches, I've got them organized by the few randoms and a freebie that I picked up, and then the cafe collection, which is a trio. Then I got into the portion of the Flight of the Dragon Volume 2 that I got, and then I get into the Nature Walk collection. So if you want to skip around to those particular sections.
You said that you needed me. Like a cargo, you will carry me. I just hope you know my depth, even though it makes no sense. Sometimes I'm broken, too much of emotions. Sometimes I'm the lightning, don't wanna pick a fight with. Everything seems so good. I guess I can't help myself. Would you call me if I'm in the dark? I'm calling up 'cause I'm right under the stars. Would you run on me leaving this mark? But baby, I'm the one who's breaking hearts, one who's breaking it. I said that I needed you, like a late night with someone that I knew. I just hope you won't get hurt. I just hope you've been through worse. Sometimes I'm broken, too much of emotions. Sometimes I'm the lightning, don't wanna pick a fight with. Everything seems so good. I guess I can't help myself. Would you call me if I'm in the dark? I'm calling up 'cause I'm right under the stars. Would you run on me leaving this mark? But baby, I'm the one who's breaking hearts, one who's breaking hearts. much of emotions. Sometimes I'm delighted, don't wanna pick a fight with it. Everything seems so good. I guess I can't help myself. Would you call on me if I'm in the dark? I'm calling up 'cause I'm right under the stars. Would you run and only leaving this mark? But baby, I'm the one who's breaking hearts, one who's breaking hearts.
Phew, that was a lot, guys. Thanks for sticking with me through that. So I do have these cool blues here that I picked out that I thought would just make a gorgeous mani. And Harmony is actually not part of the Nature Walk collection, but I had been wanting to pick it up for a while, and I found that it went really well with these. So I decided what I wanted to do was kind of like a plaid or argyle inspired color block. It's not super complicated, but it definitely gives the effect that I'm looking for. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so I grabbed these blue decals out just because they were sitting there, and these are pretty old. I'll have to see if they're still available. If they are, I will link it. But normally, guys, I use washi tape for my straight lines, but lately I've just been using these little skinny stickers. I think both are really great options, but especially for something where you need like that super sharp point, because where they come together, I want them to come to a nice point. So I'm using these instead, but either will definitely work. So you're just going to do the same thing you always do, is kind of place it down and then make sure you push it down really good to the nail so that you don't have any leakage underneath. Alright, so I've blocked it off in a way that I can do the section closest to my cuticle first. So that's why I've got 2 pieces of tape laying down. I will tell you this about Colorblock. I'm not going to tell you it's the easiest technique, but I don't think it's too difficult as long as you kind of set yourself up for success. And one of the things I've learned is it's always easier to start with the cuticle area than it is to try to like start with areas lower on the nail and then try to squeeze your brush into the cuticle area. So that's why I went to the extra trouble of actually putting down the 2 pieces of tape so I could do that section first. I almost always do 2 layers unless I'm using a glitter. Sometimes I can get away with 1, but in this case I'm using all solids, so it will be all 2 layers. So I'm just gently kind of putting the brush into that area and then letting it lap slightly over the tape itself, which gives us that nice clean edge. And then once I get that second section dipped, I'll just pull the tape right off. Alright, so we've got a pretty clean line here, but don't worry if it's not completely perfect because we can still kind of clean it up a little bit after we activate. If you need to clean it up just a little bit, I recommend having one of these cheapy drugstore thin metal files because they're just nice and small and really kind of get into that section so you can kind of straighten up the edge just a little bit. Alright, so while I'm finishing up this color block with these second and third sections, let me give you some tips here. I do activate after each section. On occasion, I will do a color block where I don't activate between the first and second sections, but it's usually pretty simple. Anything that's a little more complicated with sharp edges like this, I really do recommend activating. If you're worried about contaminating your base brush with activator on your nail, just make sure you wipe off the excess. And then what I'll do is, I didn't do it with these because I didn't really have a lot of problems with that. But if you do, just once you put the base on your nail, go ahead and wipe off the brush before you put it back in the bottle. And that should help keep your liquids from getting contaminated. To be completely honest, I would have had a much easier time doing this with gel. But again, I know that not everybody can or wants to use gel, so I do want to show you that it's possible to recreate this look without the use of gel, which you'll see towards the end. I do use some gels later on, but there is a way to do that without using gel, even that part. So you can completely use dip liquids for this, no gel at all, if you want to try this technique. So that was the reason why, but to be honest, it would be much quicker to do it with gel. That said, I don't find this particularly difficult if you follow the tips and tricks I'm giving you, but it is just a little bit more time consuming. That's what I mean by I think it would be easier to use gel. But again, like I said, I wanted to give that option for those of you who can't or don't want to use gel. Alright, I'm going to fill in this last section here with Harmony and finish up the rest of the nails, and then I will be right back. All right, so I am finishing up here with this party pinky because, you know, this glitter was just too pretty not to use. So I just figured, let's do a party pinky. Everybody loves a party pinky. So this glitter is so like full coverage that I actually only did one layer, and that's pretty rare for me. I usually like to just be consistent and do two across the board, but this one I just knew if I added a second layer, it was going to actually add bulk where it really wasn't necessary because it really did get everything covered in one layer. So I just did a single layer and then dipped it in clear. I mean, you can see what I mean as soon as I take it out of the liner. It's like, wow, there's literally not a bare spot on there. So again, I just decided to leave it with the one. Alright, so here's how everything is looking after 2 layers of everything except for 1 layer of the glitter on the pinky. And I think it looks pretty good, but we do have a little bit of shape cleanup to do. And I'm definitely going to do a little bit of buffing on the color block now. That's pretty typical. So I'm going to jump off camera and do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, all cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and finish the other nails and leave the colored block now for the last because we're going to add a little bit of accent to it to make it have that real argyle look. But I decided I wanted to go matte with this mani, so I decided to try out C&DD's gel matte top. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this as I go, but I did want to point out off the bat that this is a HEMA free matte top coat, which it seems to me those are pretty difficult to find. Most of them, like the matte top coats, that you just don't see a lot of HEMA free matte formulas. So it was good to see this, and I wanted to use this so you could see, you know, how it looked and how it performed. So if you are looking for a HEMA free option, perhaps you might consider this one. But I have some thoughts, so we'll get into that as we apply it. So I do not have their gel base coat, so I just went in with another brand's gel base coat, but I wanted to give you my impressions as to how this applies. So to me, this is a little bit thinner of a formula than I typically see with a matte top coat, which can either be a good or bad thing. I personally like the thinner a gel coat, the better it is for me. So that just means that it adds less bulk to the nail. But I did notice that this was not as fast to self level, and that can definitely be something across the board with gel matte top coats. But most of the ones that I have used, well, I say most, I've used 2. Let's be fair. I've used 2 other than this one. Those level a lot faster than this one did. I'm not saying it didn't level out, it did. It just took a little bit longer than what I typically see. The other thing I wanted to say, and you'll see it more in the pictures at the end, is that this turned out to be more of a satin matte. Now, there are 2 different camps here. Some people like a flat matte. Some people prefer a satin matte. I am definitely a flat matte kind of girl. I like it to look starkly matte. I just think it's really beautiful, but I know that's not for everybody. I'm telling you that though, because if you are somebody who likes a flat matte, you may not want this one just because it is much more of a satin matte. And it looks pretty good when it comes out of the lamp like it's going to be a flat matte, but it definitely kind of satined out as the day went on, and it never came back to that flat matte appearance. So all this to say that I don't think it's going to be a staple matte formula for me, unfortunately, but I did want to give you all the info in case you're somebody who likes a satin matte or you need a HEMA free formula. I do think this is still a really good option. This really just boils down to taste, and I'm just somebody who likes more of a flatter matte appearance. Alright, so I am going to be finishing up here with gel, so I'm adding a layer of gel base because I'm going to put some detail lines over top with gel. But again, the whole point of this was to show you that you can achieve this look without gel. So if you are not going to use gel, what you could do at this point is there are some types of markers that you can use. You could draw lines with, and I can link my Amazon storefront down below. I have a few options in that storefront. And then you can also use acrylic paints. So acrylic paints are probably the way I would go personally, but if you would prefer to use the markers, you can. But acrylic paints, you'll do the exact same steps that I'm doing here. Just the exception is you'll be finishing with a dip top coat after clear encapsulation. I do recommend any type of artwork that you encapsulate with clear because you kind of never know how activator is going to behave with some of these other mediums. So as you can see, I'm doing these white lines with the Nails Cat white gel paint, and first impressions on this are very good. This is very pigmented, so I just had to pick up and do 1 layer, and I use this tiny little painted desert brush, which I cannot recommend these little brushes enough. I've really been enjoying them for fine detail work. So I did decide to go ahead and do my matte top coat after that because I wanted to apply this silver accent on top, and I didn't want to mattify that. So that's the reason why I did it this way. I wanted the shine on that that silver line to really kind of come through. So, you know, you can choose to do that however you want, but that's the reason why I'm going with the matte top coat now. So the silver accents I'm going to be doing with this Charm Gel art paint from Daily Charm. And this is one of the ones that I hauled in that video if you didn't see it. I'm just kind of playing around with some different formulas of gel paint, but I wanted you to see this one because this looks like molten silver. It's truly beautiful in the pot. Like I didn't even want to pick it up with the brush. I'm like, this is so pretty. But I do have a problem with this gel paint. And the problem is I absolutely love it. I mean, this might be the most perfect gel paint formula ever. And you guys, I cannot start buying bougie gel products from Daily Charm. My wallet will literally burst into flames. But unfortunately, I think this is one of those formulas where you definitely get what you pay for. It's literally quite perfect. It's somehow thick enough that it holds its shape and looks really clean, but it's thin enough that it's easy to work with. I don't know what kind of magic is in this pot, but I'm like, okay, Carrie, breathe. Please do not go on a gel paint shopping spree on Daily Charm's website. But if you are willing to splurge a little bit on some gel paints, I absolutely think this one is worth the price they're asking for it. I just can't get over how easy this was to use. So in that haul, I think I grabbed another gold and another black. So we'll see if those perform this well. But oh my God, first impressions are way too good. All right, guys, here are the nails all finished. And to be clear, I did not go over with another gel top coat on top of that silver line, and it held up for probably like a week before I ended up taking it off. So there was no problem with it coming off, in case you were curious about that. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up here with some cuticle oil. So I'm going to be using Scales of a Mermaid today. This is one of her new ones. This is Let's Get Baked, and this very much smells like sugar cookies or snickerdoodles with almond and cinnamon. It's so yummy. If you love gourmet scents, you definitely need this one. And my only regret is that it only comes in the balm. I need it in a cuticle oil, a body oil, and a lotion too, but I'm greedy. All right, so here are our finished argyle plaid nails. I think they are so cute, and I think it's perfect for the fall season. I really, really love these. And you know, you can't go wrong with any of Corey's dips. She makes gorgeous dips, and these dips are no different. I absolutely think you would love this Nature Walk collection if you're interested in these blues. As far as that gel top coat, I think you can already see by now it's starting to satin out a little bit. And like I said, if you stay for the photos at the end, you can definitely see it more in the photos. So not trying to bag on that. That's totally a preference thing. If you're cool with satin matte, then I do think you'll like this one. If you're looking for more of a flat matte though, you might want to skip it. But you know, it's great to see a HEMA free matte formula at least that's available for those of you that know you have HEMA allergies. But you know, other than that, that's being very nitpicky. The point is, I love the way these turned out, and I do think this is something that's worth trying for the fall season because, you know, everybody loves a little plaid for fall. Alright guys, so that is going to complete this video. So I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, it would help me out so much if you would give me a thumbs up down below. And while you're there, if you're not subscribed already, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. We got videos coming out twice a week, Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Central, and they are always dip or gel related. So as always, guys, I thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it with me. You know I appreciate it so much, and I love you guys to pieces. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.